Good evening, Dr. Coleman and IBIS 700 class. This is Doug Jennings, Jacksonville, Florida, and this is my absolute comparative and competitive advantage analysis of Iraq. Iraq's absolute advantage would without a doubt be its oil and natural gas availability. It's been estimated that Iraq has 275 to 300 trillion cubic feet of natural gas in reserve, and they also have 9 fields that are considered supergiants in oil reserves. A supergiant is defined as a field that has over 5 billion barrels in reserve. And they have another 22 fields known as giants, and a giant is defined as 1 billion barrels of oil in reserve. With the recent war in Iraq, Iraq's ability to extract this oil and natural gas has, of course, been hampered. However, Iraq has had some pretty good help from the rest of the world and from the IMF and other agencies in the UN. In fact, December 07, the IMF agreed to renew a standby agreement for Iraq, which provides a credit line to them of about $744 million if it's needed. This standby arrangement basically told Iraq they need to make some changes and some policy reforms, some economic policy reforms, in order for the IMF to fulfill its portion of this arrangement. If Iraq does follow through on that, then they will have the ability to eliminate about 80% of their foreign debt, which will help them to have more capital, of course, to be able to refine this oil and natural gas or extract it from the ground. Also, as we know, there's a lot of Westerners in Iraq, a lot of folks there for safety and security, a lot of humanitarian aid is going on there. I know that we are deploying medical personnel to Iraq. We're also deploying construction battalions, also known as CBs, to Iraq. There's a lot of work going on there, kind of on the back burner, out of the limelight, that I think will help Iraq to be able to refine its or extract its oil and natural gas. Comparative advantage with the United States would, of course, be the oil and natural gas reserves and production. The United States does have oil, and we have natural gas here. We have other constraints, though. Some of that economic, some of that political, some of that environmental. We have oil reserves that, of course, there's battles over whether we can access those oil reserves or not. In Iraq, that doesn't seem to be an issue as much. So their comparative advantage with us, it's definitely easier for them to get the oil and gas out of the ground when compared to us. Iraq's competitive advantage in relation to its oil and natural gas, because of the Iraq war and the interruption in its ability to extract its natural resources, Iraq's competitive advantage has been hampered. However, because of the financial situation and capital investment that has occurred in Iraq, and this thing I talked about with IMF and the UN, I really believe that Iraq will be soon very competitive in its oil and gas production. I know that from talking from folks that have come back from Iraq, the mood in Iraq, just the average citizen, is that they are thankful for the yoke of bondage that was removed from them. They're looking forward to a life of freedom. I know that freedom in their eyes is not the same as freedom in our eyes, but at least having the regime of Hussein removed is a big stumbling block that's been removed for them. And I'm confident that these folks will take this opportunity and move forward with it, that they are motivated to enter a free market. They know to some degree what the resources they have, and know that that's their key or their ticket to a better life.